Hello, good evening, everyone. Today we are going to talk to Dr. Sharaz Mohamed, and it's a great pleasure for me to tell everyone that Dr. Sharaz got the gold medal in the Joint Surgical College's fellowship examination for the FRCS Urology. He appeared for the International FRCS Urology exam section 2 in July, which was held in Glasgow this time, and he has done brilliant performance in that exam. It's a great pleasure to have Dr. Sharaz to share his experience about like whatever is going to share, everyone is going to benefit from his feedback. Sharaz, many congratulations, and it's a great
Thank you,
achievement.
Ankit.
One candidate gets its gold medal from this in a year, and this time from the joint JCI format, we had Dr. Rashid getting the gold medal from the joint surgical
Yeah.
regime. We have you getting the gold medal. Feels great to have talk to you and get your experience and share to all the candidates who are preparing for the exam. So he's currently working in Trinidad and he's going to share his experience. So over to you, Shiraz. Congratulations once again.
Thank you, Ankit. Many thanks to you as well for all the support you've been giving us and other candidates.
Pleasure for us.
I, I think I think it's a testament to your support as well. You had two candidates copying the gold medal. So I mean, there's a saying I like to say, steel sharpens steel.
Oh,
So yeah, so
so
it's testament to your course as well.
that's amazing. Thank you so much. And we want to hear from you about when did you appear for section one, what resources, then about section two, how much time, what resources. So you can talk about that and
Uh,
how we do that.
So, section one for me, I had initially planned to do in 2021,
Okay,
right? But when I applied, that's when the height of the pandemic began. So,
right.
my section one was basically delayed until 2022, 23. So,
Okay,
my journey was a little bit different, being that I had a lot of time to fiddle around with section one. But the problem that I had was trying to write section one, with from Trinidad and Tobago. Um, the resources I was using, and I was basically trying to study by myself, which was a bad idea in retrospect.
right.
So the resources that I was using was like EAU guidelines. I was just trying to memorize this thick book. I've never heard of Oxford Handbook in Urology. I never heard of there was the pediatrics book, the urotechnology books. So I sat for that exam the first time when there was a window. They opened the exam. I got an email 6 weeks. We're having this exam. I said, okay, you know what? I'll try it. That
Right.
didn't work out too well. So I said, okay, all right. I don't like to say, and this is me personally, it's a failure, but it's a lesson. So I was like, all right, maybe, the stress of COVID, I was involved in a lot of things, first line. I mean, I'm sure you've been
Yeah, yeah,
working hard during COVID as well.
right.
So I took some time and I said, okay, I'm going to give it a second attempt. And the second attempt did not work out as well. So I failed part one twice. Many people don't know that.
Oh, great.
So
So
the
that's a great
definition
example.
of
I think it's a good example that we should not be quitting after like every failure. Failure is going to teach you something. So you
exactly.
can appear for part one once, but part two you can clear. So I always feel this part one is more difficult than part two. Do you feel
Oh
this?
yes. I definitely feel that way, and my results prove that.
Right.
But I think there's a strategy. And what happened after the second attempt? I sat down and I told myself, well, if you're going to do the same thing, that's being insane. So the definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result.
Right.
So I sat down and I planned. I said, okay, this is a UK-based exam. I need to change the approach.
Right.
So a couple of things changed for me. I started reaching out to some guys in the UK. I have to give credit to Dr. Akano Day. He was one of my mentors for part one,
Great.
and I linked up with him. I joined him, got some notes, and then I traveled a lot. I went up for BAUS. They had a basic sciences course.
Right.
Every course that I could have gotten into, I flew to the UK. There were times I was going through immigration. They were asking me, "You've been here a lot. Are you working here?" I'm like, "No, I'm just here for a course for like a week, and I'm going back home." So the resources were a pool of like the Oxford handbooks. There's the essential pediatrics book, the Eurotechnology book, and Rakan's notes, and that got me through part one. Passed part one in 2024 March, and that was from going from failure to very high pass. So I began to feel comfortable. So
Yeah,
the knowledge that I knew,
yeah. I think you just
it was a
modified
strong
the
foundation.
format. You just modified the strategy. You just found that it's a UK exam, so let us focus on the UK resources and the UK.
Exactly.
That's the thing. I think everybody should be doing it from the very beginning of the preparation. Focus on the nice guidelines, the Oxford and the
Was
what they are reading. So that's more important.
correct. It's very, very, very important to focus on UK because if you don't do that, you'll be like me, and I don't want anyone to fail this exam.
Right.
So after part one, the foundation was clear. It was just now honing my speaking skills. And now, part one, you have to have a strategy for part one, which is knowledge. Any one of us could read a book and have knowledge.
Right.
But for part two, you need a strategy. I know we always talk about in the course, you have to have an opening gambit. It's like chess, really, an opening gambit, a mid game,
Right.
and use your evidence to back up what you're saying and
Right.
show empathy and all that. So for part two, the resources were obviously, well, your course. I did the BAPU course for pediatrics because I don't practice pediatric urology. So I
Yeah.
went to Cambridge for BAPU. Then I flew back home and flew back to Leicester for BAUS.
Right.
This was all while we were doing your
You were
course
doing
as
all this
well.
in last year only or the last year?
2024.
Right. When the exam got postponed. Yes. Before the,
Correct.
right.
So I was preparing for January.
Right.
And then we all know what happened in January,
Right.
and they postponed the exam. So I felt like I was ready for this exam at January 2025.
Right.
So I guess all things sometimes, things always work out for the best in the end. I had extra time to prepare. So I took it in July and
Great. Great. What you did in July was great and absolutely amazing. So tell us more about this. How did you manage to prepare, like get the gold medal? How different was your performance? What do you think should be that X factor that can take someone to achieve this gold medal?
so for me personally, starting off with a strong knowledge base, that was very important because when you have the knowledge, you could maneuver, you could pivot, and that became very important for me in my part two exam. And I'll share that experience in a moment. But in preparation, having a good knowledge base, doing Viva courses because you need to speak, you need to learn the key words that they're looking for,
Right.
uh,
Most important.
and how to strategize. Very, very, very important. So those are the things that helped me underscore like everything that I did. I had a plan. Even from months before, I had a plan on the day of the examination. And even in the station, I found myself having to change that plan.
Okay.
So if I had to give example, do the Viva course, get a group of like-minded people that you could practice with, join a course like yours, have somebody guide you,
Right.
stick to guidelines. So that would be knowledge and practicing.
Absolutely.
On the on the day of exam, for me, um, I don't like to eat much before I go into exam because yeah, I'll feel tired. So I just had like a light breakfast and I kept snacking on like fruits during the day. What I personally noticed during my exam, a lot of guys at lunchtime they ate like a full plate, and an hour after I could see them being fatigued. So
Right.
it slows down. You're thinking like, my
Absolutely.
advice is don't do that.
Yes, you need to be super active during the exams. You can't
Exactly.
you can't afford to fall drowsy or sleepy even for a moment. You have to be
No,
super active, super conscious about yourself.
correct. So the exam itself, I would advise it doesn't matter how much you prepared. Probably the most important thing is the ability to react, respond to cues, and maneuver. And
Uh,
I'll tell you why that was important for me. Um, because I went to BAUS and these courses in the UK, I came back home with a expectation that this would be like a UK exam. I didn't find that in the exam in Glasgow because I think they compensated for many candidates might have had language barriers.
Right.
So they compensated for that. And I found if you look at my mark sheet, you would find that the initial two stations were like high 70s. And when I came out of those stations, I realized the examiners just wanted information. So they
Oh,
didn't allow me to say, take a history and exam. They just asked questions and I needed to be able to respond with the answer. So
right.
it's only after like two stations, I was like, wait, I need to change the strategy. So I sat back and I let them just ask questions and I fired back with knowledge.
Right.
So
Right. 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 This is
it,
very important. Even during the exam, you can analyze and modify your answers accordingly. So don't
yeah,
go with protocol that I'm going to do this in the Viva. So you need to keep yourself flexible and modify according to the needs of the examiner. Sometimes the examiner might want just knowledge. Sometimes the examiner might want higher level of thinking and a balanced answer where you have to give both the. That's a very well approach. You did. You understood it, and
yeah,
you managed to get the highest marks in the other stations. So
yeah.
that's really great. What else does for the exam day preparation? Like on the exam day, many candidates go stressed and they have a lot of gap in between their stations. So that also adds
Mhm.
to the- sometimes they start discussing and they lose their track. So what would be your advice?
So on the exam day, I had a plan for the exam day because I initially thought that this was going to be straight through.
Right,
So we had like 45 minutes, hour intervals between going for stations.
right,
So I planned in my head, they give you a schedule. So, you know, you're going for oncology one, oncology two, and then you might do pediatrics after. So my strategy was on the morning. There are certain things that me personally, I know there are gaps in my knowledge that I won't recall. Percentages.
right,
So my strategy was, okay, I would look at for example, before renal station, okay, nephrotomy scoring, what's the percentage of complication associated with that? So it's just these fine little things. I made sure I honed in on that. And when it was done, I literally made books and notes for the
sure.
breaks. So I tossed that aside. I even asked the other guys, I was like, would you want these notes? Your station is next. I can share them with you. And I forgot all those percentages. And then I'm like, okay, atrophy risk for torsion and this for Fowler Steven. So, you know, you go through your strategy, and I had a plan, and staying alert, not being fatigued was very important for me because in between, I was just sitting down, fine tuning, and going back in because I realized they wanted information. If that's what you all want, I will give it to you.
That's amazing. That's very kind. I think every candidate who passes the exam has some kind of note of his own. And
Hmm.
I've realized one thing that it's easier to understand your own notes than understand someone else's notes. So
Yeah,
it's good that you make your own notes. Every candidate should make his own notes and they can update from the different courses and different notes which are available and they can update their own notes. But don't rely totally on my notes or your notes or somebody else's notes.
hmm,
It will be difficult to understand those notes.
correct. And I also have weird acronyms. So,
I know. Even
it,
my notes have all those things. Therefore, I don't like to share my note because it's difficult to
yeah,
understand. It's better you listen
yeah,
to me and then write down your notes. That's much easier rather than read my
correct,
notes and try to understand them. It's much difficult.
correct. A
Whereas,
second piece of advice is not to overly discuss in between stations because your station is possibly almost 95% going to be different
absolutely
than the candidate that went before. And the anxiety that will cause, it's not worth it.
right.
So
Absolutely.
don't do it.
Very, very important. Very short and very nice explanation. This is something every candidate, like even today we had another interview with another guy. So he was also
Yeah,
saying, don't discuss. Discussing can cause mishaps. Really preoccupied with something, you might think this is going to be the station, but they might have different approaches. They might have different scenarios for the same opening question.
correct. And that happened in my exam, and I think one of the guys, unfortunately, They
Yeah.
were discussing it, and the scenario was totally different, and I don't think he passed, unfortunately.
So, Sharaz, what do you think? How much time should one spend on the exam preparation? Because the November exams are almost 3 months. So, what would be your advice for them?
3 months is a lot. I think if you have a good foundation from part one,
Right.
you can do 6 weeks of focus study, but 3 months is more than enough time. If it is, I was to write this exam again, 3 months I would probably do light studying and intensify the schedule as I get closer. So 3 months out, I might do two Viva sessions with colleagues for the week. 2 months in, three, and then the week before is every evening trying to do Viva sessions. So burnout, you don't want to be burnt out because when you're mentally fatigued, you want to peak at that right level, right before the exam, you just peak right there and then boom, perfect O'Reilly curve.
Right. Absolutely. You should try to be type 2 really. Your preparation should
Yeah,
always be better. Don't like it at all.
true. I like that. I'll steal that.
So that's great talking to you, Sharaz. It's very insightful. Many people will get to know how a gold medal, how calm you are right now. That should be the
Yeah,
of a gold medal. You are a multitasker. You have always been busy with your family, and in spite of that, it's impossible to make it. You think family suffers during the preparation?
of course. Well, I like to always say God first, then family. So I have kids. I mean, I love my wife, I love my child, but I have a relationship with God first. And then through that relationship, I'm able to give love and kindness to my family, my wife, my child, my parents. And because I've been able to do that, as I go up, my philosophy is, as I go forward, I turn back and see who I could help. Because the aim in life is not for me to be successful, it's
But
for us to be successful. And especially being in a setting that I am in Trinidad and the Caribbean, we would want that more people have FRCS qualifications, more people have evidence-based approaches when in managing patients, because at the end of the day, the patients will benefit, and we're here to do God's work, serve people.
great, great. Very well said. So you are planning to stay in your own country, or you're planning to
So
move?
I plan to make Trinidad a hub of urology. I have a couple of juniors that might be joining your course sooner or later because they have seen that it's possible. So I first needed to show them that you can be in Trinidad and still do great things. So this is proof. If you look at humans thinking, when the record for the fastest 1 mile was broken, I think 3 weeks later another guy broke it. So I could expect and I would hope that you'll have more gold medalists from Trinidad coming soon,
Oh,
and we could only we could only keep doing better and aspiring for more.
that's amazing. I remember I have a lot of your videos during the classes as well. When I used to take your class there, I used to understand that yes, some candidates are really doing well from the beginning of the Viva course. Some gradually improve during the end. So there is some videos which I would like to upload in the YouTube also, so that people know
Oh,
in the preparation phase how a gold medal answers. So that
yeah, yeah.
if your permission is there, I would like to upload those videos so that candidates can understand before exam. So now you have cleared the gold medal, you got the gold medal, so you know that everybody will
Correct,
clear with a
correct.
different perspective. But before getting the
Yeah.
medal, how you used to answer the questions? That those are more
Oh,
important.
definitely.
So I like to upload those.
Every
I keep recording. I have recordings of all the last 1 year classes. Okay,
That's great.
so I keep all
That's
the
great. And
recordings. Yeah,
I think it's very important for people to see that because just me thinking back, how I began when I started the Bible courses, it really was a progression.
right.
There was a lot more stammering. I was unsure. I didn't know the evidence. I would misquote figures. So for anybody that's watching this and they think that they can't do it, go and look at some of my earlier videos, and you'll realize that hey, he was okay back then, but now
Yeah,
he's there.
definitely. Practice will make you perfect. Keep practicing. Keep practicing. You are definitely going to get the best result in your exam if you practice. Don't think about the result at all. Just keep practicing,
Well,
and focus on your preparation, on your knowledge, on your presentation, and everybody can get a pass easily.
Correct. I have one addition to that saying. Perfect practice makes perfect, because if you practice the wrong thing, you'll do the wrong thing.
Absolutely. You need a good company, you need a good guide who is going to give you
Correct.
a focused preparation. You can't just go here way and prepare everything, like every knowledge from everywhere. You can absorb that.
Correct.
You'll
No,
be
you can't.
done.
Exactly.
Very important advice. It was a very positive talk, Sharaz, talking to you, and I'm sure
I'm
many people
happy.
will be motivated after hearing to you.
I'm glad, and I wish them the best. If it is that anyone wants to reach out to me for any assistance, that's fine.
Sure, we'll connect them to you if they have any queries. If they have any, definitely they will have for you questions for you.
No
So,
problem.
so much, Sharaz, for your time, and we'll stay.
Not a problem.
Thank
Definitely. Take care, Ankit.
thank you. Thank you.